Guys, we're so close to being done with the book. That's all we have left. We're on chapter 19, so I'm pretty sure 3 more chapters. 20? 21? Yeah. Because it has like an intro to My Teacher Flunked the Planet. So, 20 more pages. Okay, let's get started. Chapter 19, The Fading Glow. Julian lay on the floor, stretched out straight and stiff as a board. Several of the little blue people were gathered around him, squawking in dismay. "What is it?" I cried, rushing over to him. "What's happened?" "The leader!" cried a green-haired woman. "What have you done to the leader?" "It was the machine!" cried one of the men. "He knew he shouldn't use the machine." "No, it's not the machine!" another one shouted. "It's him! It's the Earthling!" "What do you mean?" I asked. "What's wrong with Julian?" Before anyone could answer, the room was filled with a loud buzzing sound. It took me a moment to realize that the noise was coming from both Julian's U-rat and mine. "The ship!" cried one of the men. "Their ship is leaving! You must get him back to the ship!" "But he's sick," I said, nearly sick with fear myself. "Yes, but he must be on the ship. Besides, his doctor is there. You must go back to the ship." Gathering around Julian's stiff body, the blue men and women picked him up and carried him to the room next door. The buzzing of the U-rat grew more urgent. "Stand here," said one of the women, motioning to the circle on the floor. "Stand here." They put Julian next to me. The men were pulling on their mustaches, a sign, my translator told me, of extreme grief. "But what happened to him?" My words were cut off as a beam of blue light shot down from the ceiling, and we were sucked out of the city, beneath the sea, through space, and back into the New Jersey. I blinked. We were back in the room where we had started. "Julian," I cried, kneeling beside him. "Julian, talk to me." He said nothing, only groaned a little. He was glowing, but only faintly. Suddenly the alarm sounded. The ship was about to make a jump. I threw myself on the floor beside Julian, clutching Murgatroyd, who was chittering in alarm. I braced myself for the jump and hoped that Julian would live through it. The horrible, high-pitched whine tore through the room, drowning my own moans of nausea. The tearing feelings became unbearable, and then ended. I lay next to Julian, trembling and trying to recover, wondering how many light years we had jumped and where we were now. When I could push myself to my knees, I stared at Julian. His glow was even fainter than before. I knew that he was dying. I grabbed my U-rat. "Give me the code for Crack Dock," I cried. The moment the colored dots began to flash on the screen, I raced across the room and punched the destination into the elevator. Then I ran back and tried to pick up Julian. He was heavier than I thought, and his body was rigid, but I finally managed to get him into my arms. Worried that I wouldn't get back across the room before the elevator did an automatic shut-off, I struggled toward the wall. The shut-off alarm sounded just as I pitched forward, falling through the wall and into Croc Doc's office. Only Croc Doc wasn't there. "Find him!" I shouted at the U-rat. "Find Croc Doc!" The machine gave me another code. Leaving Julian on the floor, I hurtled through the wall. Interrupting a meeting of some sort, I grabbed Croc Doc by the arm and said, "Your office, quickly!" To my relief, he didn't try to brush me off. Instead, he immediately followed me back through the wall into his office. I slumped against the wall in relief. I had done what I could do, or so I thought. Croc Doc asked me to help him get Julian onto the table. He was examining him while I watched in fascinated horror when Broxholm's voice came from the ceiling. "Peter, you're wanted in the council room. The elevator is programmed. Please step through the wall." "But Broxholm—" "Come at once." "Better go," cried Croc Doc. "I'll take care of things," said Croc Doc. "I'll take care of things here." "But will he?" "I make no guarantees," said Croc Doc. "However, I believe he will still be here when you get back." "Be here?" What did that mean? Still on the table, but dead as a tubeless television? I stared. No, like, dead as a table, dead on the table, but still on the table, but dead as a tubeless television? I started to say something, but Roxholm's voice thundered through the speaker. "Now, Peter." Best go, whispered Crackdock. I went. Broxholm was waiting for me when I entered the chamber. So was the rest of the alien council. The 8 beings I had encountered for the first time I entered this room. Peter Thompson, Crackdock, Child of the Stars, said the green alien. The time is fast approaching when we will make a decision regarding the fate of the Earth. I considered bolting right then, racing off to the communication room to see if I could get one last message off to Duncan. Somehow get him to warn the government, someone, anyone, who might be able to do something. Then at last, the Earth might have a fighting chance. We offer you a chance to speak in Earth's defense, said the alien who hung on the rack. Tell us something we do not know, something that might give us... Someone's probably making a smoothie downstairs. Or drilling a hole in the wall. We offer you a chance to speak in Earth's defense, said the alien who hung on the rack. Tell us something we do not know, something that might give us a cause to think again as we deliberate. You need to ask someone else, I said desperately. I'm only a kid. What can I tell you? Then you refuse to speak on behalf of the planet? Asked the purple alien. No, that's not what I meant. I just don't know what to say. I haven't lived enough, seen enough. I know there must be more good things out there that I have seen, things worth saving, things too wonderful to lose. I know it. Yet you chose to leave. Bless me. Yet you chose to leave, said one of the aliens who had not spoken before this, a dark creature who looked more like a shadow than anything real and solid. I chose to leave, not to destroy it, I said. All leaving involves a kind of destruction, said the shadow. The chick destroys the egg in hatching. No home is the same once someone has gone from it. Why don't you help us? I cried. You have answers. You can fix things. You don't need our answers, said another alien. Your problem is not shortage of food or land. You live on one of the most blessed planets in the galaxy, or at least you used to, until you fouled it so. What could we offer you but technology? And what would you do with it but create new problems? The technology is not the problem. Hearts and minds. Those are the problem. Send me back, I said, hardly able to believe the words that came out of my mouth. Let me find a reason for you. I won't run away. I'm not afraid for myself. But I don't want you to hurt my friends. I don't want you to hurt my father. I stopped, astonished at what I just said. Leave us for a time, said the sea-green alien. We need to deliberate. I looked at Broxholm. He nodded. I left the chamber. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. 2 more chapters, guys. Make sure to subscribe so that you get notified when they post. See you next time.